Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good morning, and welcome to the rolling out ceremony for the Havilland Tiger Moth Echo Charlie India. I'd like to say a few words about the history of Echo Charlie India, the rebuild project, and the people who made it possible. Although Tiger Moth aircraft were first manufactured in 1933, Echo Charlie India was manufactured at the de Havilland factory in England in 1942. She was exported to Rhodesia, where she served in the Rhodesian Air Force as a trainer and as part of the Empire Flight Training Scheme. The aircraft was subsequently sold by the Rhodesian Air Force but remained in Rhodesia for a number of years. Echo Charlie India arrived in South Africa a few years ago, and we acquired the aircraft in August 1985. The rebuild project entailed the complete dismantling of the aircraft, the removal of all fabric, the stripping of all componentry, and the inspection of each component for serviceability. Where necessary, parts were reconditioned, repaired, replaced, or in some instances remanufactured. The aircraft was recovered with new fabric, painted and reassembled. A project of this sort and the quality of the result that has been achieved was only possible with the contribution of the varied skills and expertise of the members of the team who carried out the work. Today's event is largely a tribute to those people. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mr. Cyril Strecker, without whose contribution this project would not have been possible. His technical and general knowledge of Tiger Moth aircraft is quite remarkable. There were lots of laughs, lots of stories. Many thanks, Cyril, a terrific effort. Secondly, a man who we are honored to have with us today and who is affectionately known amongst the Tiger Moth community as Mr. Tiger Moth. Mr. Strecker, who has just celebrated his 82nd birthday, and for whom Echo Charlie India represents the 56th Tiger Moth to have been rebuilt under his watchful eye. Thank you, Bok. And then to the other members of the Strecker family, Mrs. Strecker, who made us all that tea, Willie, Toffee, Barris, Tubby, and Finney. Thank you all for your contributions. Thanks to the TFM team, whose not inconsiderable skills have resulted in the quality achieved. Mr. Steve van Rooyen, who amongst other things repaired and remanufactured a large number of components, spray painted the aircraft, and who is largely responsible for the wonderful finish. Mr. Arthur Reed, who dismantled the aircraft. Mr. Bert Fuchs, who amongst other things transported the aircraft all over the show. Mr. Ivan Hancock, whose technical knowledge was invaluable. Barney, who scoured the country and obtained the unobtainable. Mr. Alex McLaren, Mr. Fernando dos Santos, and the Pletchka brothers, Mike and Alan, and Ronnie, all of whom rendered invaluable assistance, and the other members of the TFM team, who are many and whose names I haven't mentioned. Thank you all very much. A special word of thanks to Mr. Carl Gregor and Mr. Bruce Cowan of the Division of Civil Aviation for their courtesy and their assistance. They made what could have become a bureaucratic nightmare into a relatively simple administrative task. To Captain Graham Smith, who test flew the aircraft, ferried parts from the UK and helped us with the paperwork and the laughs. Wally Waldeck, who has given us and our friends the facility of enjoying the aircraft whilst we convert onto it, and generally without whose help we would have had a very difficult time, and who will in fact be flying the aircraft this morning. Jürgen Otter, who procured a lot of vital equipment for us, and Barry Turner, who helped us with the radio. My personal thanks to the man who put the entire project together and who coordinated all of its aspects, from buying the aircraft and telling me about it afterwards, to the printing of the invitations and turning a Trek garage into a Sonok garage, Cliff Modlin. He ran the project in a completely autocratic and unilateral fashion. To give you an indication, there was a dispute concerning the color of the aircraft. I wanted it painted yellow and Cliff wanted it painted red. So we spun a coin. I won, elected yellow, and the aircraft was painted red. Cliff, you did a terrific job, thank you. And then our thanks to Mr. Gus Modlin, who made the project possible by turning a blind eye and saying nothing. Well, nothing that can be repeated. And finally, our thanks to those people who have made today's event a possibility. I'm told that this has been the largest gathering of Tiger Moth aircraft in the country in the last 25 years. Firstly, our thanks to Mr. Barry Cater, who coordinated all of the pilots and the aircraft, and whose efforts have resulted in the presence of all these aircraft today, and most of the events which will take place this morning. Thanks to all the Tiger Moth owners and the pilots who have made their aircraft available today. Some have travelled vast distances to be here this morning. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. Our thanks to the ground marshals and the safety team for their attendance this morning. Our thanks to the members of the various vintage car clubs who have brought their wonderful vehicles here this morning to add to the atmosphere of the occasion. To Ruti Modlin and the catering team for all of their help, and to Robert Pope for his considerable coordinating efforts. Our special thanks, I apologize, that's not correct. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the thanks. If I have omitted anybody, please forgive me. It wasn't intentional. I now call on Ruti Modlin to cut the banner for the commencement of the rollout ceremony.
Wer ist das? Ja? Wer ist der Wende? It's in good condition.
Ja, gut. Ja, the pool's not all catching.